America, at 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, over 450 federal agents conducted a massive raid that detained more than 150 people connected to Tren de Aragua, the Venezuelan gang that's been terrorizing American cities. We're talking about blasts, smoke, helicopters, and armored vehicles descending on what looked like an innocent food truck operation in San Antonio. But here's what's really shocking. This wasn't just a food truck park, it was a criminal headquarters with a makeshift nightclub in the back where gang members were conducting illegal activity. Because here's what nobody wants to talk about. Tren de Aragua has been using legitimate businesses as fronts for their operations, and this raid shows how deep their infiltration really goes. Dos tacos carne asada, por favor, aka 2 steak tacos to go, please.
The music was blasting. Some people were coming to get food at the food trucks. Others were heading into what appears to have been a clandestine club.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story shows exactly why Trump's new Homeland Security Task Force is so critical. These aren't just street criminals. They're international terrorists operating on American soil. Let me break down what happened during this massive federal operation that looked like something out of an Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie.
Hasta la vista, baby.
At 3 a.m. Sunday morning, federal agents surrounded a food truck park and a car lot near intersection of San Pedro Avenue.
Broken glass scattered across the ground and a community waiting to learn exactly who was inside.
This wasn't your typical law enforcement operations. Witnesses reporting hearing blasts and seeing smoke in the air as multiple agencies moved in with helicopters providing air support. The scale of this operation tells you everything that you need to know about how seriously federal law enforcement is taking Tren de Aragua threats.
The FBI, along with multiple law enforcement agencies, arrived at this target area in the front of a food truck park. In the back, a club where sources tell us the FBI believe there were members of the Tren de Aragua Venezuelan gang.
The FBI, along with Homeland Security, DPS, and other agencies, have been conducting surveillance on this location because they believe this was used as a Tren de Aragua operational base. What looked like a simple food truck was actually a sophisticated criminal enterprise with a club in the back where gang members conducted their activity. This is exactly the kind of operation that Trump's new Homeland Security Task Force was designed to conduct. Coordinate federal action against transnational criminal organizations operating on American soil.
We have lost hundreds of thousands of people a year, death. And that's not talking about family destruction, that's talking about death.
Here's what makes this case so disturbing. Tren de Aragua was using what appeared to be a legitimate food truck business's cover for their criminal operations. This shows the level of sophistication they're using to infiltrate American communities, selling tacos and guns at the same time.
This woman, who works at a food truck and wasn't there, spoke to us under the condition of anonymity.
Mucha gente pues no venía al bar ni a lo del casino, venía más que nada a comprar comida.
The food truck workers who weren't involved in the criminal activity are now struggling to figure out what happened and how their legitimate business got mixed up in gang operations. This just shows how Tren de Aragua infiltrates communities. They use the legitimate businesses as cover while conducting the criminal activity.
It is hidden behind a cargo container, similar to the ones lining parts of the Rio Grande. But inside, sources say the makeshift club was packed when the joint operation took place.
Over 150 people were detained from Venezuela, Honduras, and Mexico, showing this wasn't just a local gang problem. This was an international criminal operation with members from multiple countries. All of these detainees were transferred to ICE custody for deportation proceedings.
So this right here was what they call the club. Someone that leases here said we could walk through, and basically it smells like smoke.
The newly formed Homeland Security Task Force said in a statement today that the operation disrupted the Tren de Aragua criminal presence in San Antonio.
The fact that they had people from 3 different countries operating out of one location shows the transnational nature of these criminal organizations. This is exactly why Trump created the Homeland Security Task Force, to deal with threats that cross international boundaries. Now let me tell you about the most disturbing part of this operation, the makeshift makeshift nightclub that was operating behind the food trucks, where gang members were conducting their criminal activity, while innocent families just thought they were getting tacos and tortas.
At nighttime, it was almost like there was a whole bunch, like all the food trucks are there, so it's almost like a party going on there all the time.
Local residents and business owners describe the location as having a party atmosphere all the time, with food trucks creating cover what was actually a criminal operation. What looked like a community gathering place was actually a gang headquarters. The surveillance footage shows federal agents with weapons drawn and canine units searching food trucks, telling people to stop. This wasn't a simple immigration raid. This was a coordinated takedown of an armed criminal organization. Sources say that 200 people were near the food truck park in the club when the raid began. Think about that. 200 people at a criminal operation disguised as a food truck park, with many of them being gang members from an international criminal organization. For those of you that don't know, let me explain exactly what Tren de Aragua is and why the raid was so critical for American public safety. TDA, Tren de Aragua, is a Venezuelan prison gang that expanded across South America and now is operating in American cities like New York, Chicago, Denver, and San Antonio. This isn't just another street gang. They're an international criminal organization specializing in human trafficking, drug smuggling, extortion, kidnapping, and murder. Under the Biden administration, when Venezuela was releasing prisoners and sending them north in migrant caravans, many Tren de Aragua members entered the United States and set up their operations. The FBI and Homeland Security confirmed this was court-authorized activity, meaning they had been building a case against this criminal organization for some time. This wasn't just a random raid. This was the result of extensive investigation and surveillance. The fact that they needed court authorization and over 450 federal agents shows the level of threat that Tren de Aragua represents. These aren't just immigrants looking for work. These are international criminals who pose a direct threat to American communities. Now, let me tell you about the impact this operation had on the local San Antonio community. Residents were living in constant fear because the gang activity happened right in their neighborhood.
I watch a lot of stuff on TV and we see a lot of stuff on social media, but to actually be like this close.
David Rathburn says the businesses on this street talk to each other and weren't surprised to see some law enforcement activity in the area, especially as that spot grew with more and more people showing up.
This shows that the community was aware something wasn't right, but they didn't realize the full extent of the criminal operation.
We're hoping it's all over now. It should be fine, but we're hoping that's all done and over with.
The aftermath of this raid shows the complete dismantling of a sophisticated criminal operation. Everything has been completely cleared out.
If you were to drive by this area today, you might not even know something happened here at all. Check out what the scene looks like now. Absolutely abandoned. No more cars, no more benches, no more food trucks.
All that's left is broken glass on the pavement.
The woman who works at the food truck says they're all struggling to figure out what happened and how their businesses will pick up the pieces, since a lot of their tools and money were stolen during the chaos.
This shows how criminal organizations exploit and victimize legitimate businesses and workers. This San Antonio raid represents the debut operation of Trump's new Homeland Security Task Force, specifically designed to dismantle transnational criminal organizations like TDA operating in America. The task force includes the FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, DEA, ICE, U.S. Marshals, ATF, Border Patrol, and multiple other agencies coordinating under one command structure. This level of coordination is exactly what's needed to combat sophisticated international criminal organizations.
State sources tell us some people had minor injuries. They also tell us close to 200 people were near the food truck park at the club.
America, this San Antonio raid shows exactly why Trump's approach to immigration enforcement and public safety is so critical. Tren de Aragua has established a sophisticated criminal operation disguised as a food truck park, complete with a makeshift nightclub where they conducted illegal activity. For months, this Venezuelan gang was operating in plain sight, using legitimate-looking businesses as cover while terrorizing the local community. Residents knew something wasn't right, but they had no idea that they were living and conducting business next to an international criminal headquarters. The arrest of over 150 gang members from Venezuela, Honduras, and Mexico shows this wasn't just a local problem. This was an international criminal operation that required federal intervention. The coordination of over 450 agents from multiple agencies demonstrates the seriousness of the TDA threat. This is what happens when we actually support law enforcement enforcement and give them the tools they need to combat transnational crime. While Biden, Joey B, was releasing these criminals into our communities through his open border policy disaster, Trump is building the infrastructure to hunt them down and remove them. The complete destruction of this food park criminal operation, leaving nothing but broken glass and empty lots, sends a powerful message to other gang members. Your criminal enterprise will be dismantled and you will get deported, hombre. San Antonio residents and business owners can sleep safely tonight knowing that a major criminal organization has been removed from their communities. This is what America First law enforcement looks like in action. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.